Mom!
Let's get the first thing out of the way.
Okay.
You're big.
giant.
You're tall.
You're big.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're a bitch. I was like, yeah, it's true. I
No,
am a bitch.
that's number two.
Okay,
And that's
okay.
great.
That's number
We'll
two.
save that.
No,
Okay.
you start a lot of your stand-up
I'm a big old bitch.
saying your
I'm a
height.
big old bitch.
What is the number one thing that people say to you out in the wild, commenting on your height?
You play basketball? You play volleyball? Do you play basketball? Do you play volleyball? Do you play basketball? You know what's funny? I've gotten so used to people coming up to me. Yeah, unprompted. People coming up to me that they'll come up to me like in the grocery store and be like, "Can I ask you a question?" I'll be like, 6'2".
Oh,
I'm
you
6'2".
just know off the
Yeah,
bat.
and they're like, "How did you know?" And I'm like, "Take a guess, bitch. You think you're the first person to ask me that? Leave me alone."
Yeah.
That's wild. When I was a kid, everybody would be like, "Oh, you play sports? You're into football?" Because I was just like, "Why?"
Yeah,
And I did play football for a little bit, but I was so bad. Did you ever play sports or anything?
I tried, but I hated it. I like talking on the sidelines. I
Oh,
like
yeah,
watching men
sure.
play sports.
Oop.
You know what I mean? But I don't want to play sports.
Wait, yeah, that's sports are for men. Everyone knows that.
No, I'm saying I like watch it. You know how men will be like, "Oh, you women can really up the WNBA if you just support other women." I was like, I don't watch sports for the sports. I watch sports because I want to maybe see a pop out. I want to see them buns
Okay,
running across
let's
the
get
field.
into it.
I'm just saying.
Why do football players, their butts are so big?
Oh, juicy.
But you don't see anything on the front end. And I'm looking
But-
for mushroom.
But
There's a lot. They got those thigh pads and those
there's
other
a lot
things
going
in
on.
there.
You
Oh,
got to
so it's
know what
fake.
to look for in each sport. And I
Okay,
Well,
let's
and
run it
so-
down.
Basketball.
with
What are we looking
well,
for?
football is butts and guts. Like, because I do
Oh,
like a good gut on a man. I
yes.
love a juicy butt, and they often have nice thighs. So that's what you got to look for. Basketball, you got to, nowadays it's the arms. Because in the 90s, they had soft arms. So it was more like, okay, you're looking like for like what they're up to and how they're moving. But now they're all ripped like a mother, which is hot as yeah. So
Well,
that's nice.
They don't need all those muscles because all they're doing is running and shooting. So they really just
I
need
agree.
leg and
They
arm.
need skill. They
Yeah.
need skill is what
Oh,
they
skill.
need.
Agility.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
need
yeah.
skill. But that's what's cool about nowadays with the basketball is that they actually care. I mean, they're all vain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're all
Their
pumping
press
iron.
conference
The-
outfits.
yeah, they'll show up in the most
Exactly.
ridiculous looking outfits, and
Yeah.
Michael will be like, "This is drag. This is their
Absolutely,
drag."
this is drag.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So crazy.
And
Yeah.
so then rugby is the sport to look for the falling out
Oh,
because
yes.
they pull
Oh,
at
because
each
they pull
other's
the shorts
clothes.
down.
Yes,
They're
yeah.
lifting it up.
That's part of the move, right? When they're in the the scrum. When they're in that thing, they literally have to
Excuse me. Oh, I never
Oh,
did that
and there it is, the
before.
first one. We'll put a
Oh.
tally up for any
Yeah.
time you get bitched stabbed by Marcella.
part of the move is they have to like hook their thumb in someone else's shorts.
Mm.
That's how they all get connected.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so hot.
it's very
and soccer
hot.
is legs.
Oh,
Soccer,
sure.
the leg, like the thighs, at the thighs. Yeah.
And when they play the replay in slow motion, that's when
You
you
can
get the
see
ball.
that hog moving,
Yeah.
swinging in the wind.
Yeah.
Really.
So it's
Maybe
like.
I do like sports.
So like why
Yeah.
like that's why it's funny with straight men. They're just like, you should watch women's sports. And like, no, bro, you should be watching women's sports
Yeah.
if you're so straight.
We were talking about what?
No, I was just thinking about. I saw there's now two NBA or WNBA players who are dating each other,
Okay.
and they are the most fierce looking women I've ever seen.
Oh.
Like eyeliner.
Two black
out-
women.
Yes. Of
Yes,
course,
yeah, okay.
Full beautiful wigs, and I'm watching videos of them playing, and I was like, how do they keep that hair glued down?
You know,
They're on the move.
I saw a tweet where someone was like, they need to the like wig and glue companies need to be working with the WNBA.
Oh,
on, like,
absolutely.
because they say snatch the whole game.
That's so
Market
That's
research
wild.
right there.
Absolutely.
We were talking about Drake before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember
Sucks.
that music video for Best I Ever Had?
No.
It was a women's basketball team,
Okay.
and they just ran in slow motion with big old titties.
Oh God. But
It worked.
but also a straight guy, like I get it that you're watching women. I get it. But also Drake sucks, so I don't support anything he
He
does.
kind of does suck. He seems weird to me.
He is.
Again, we've already had this conversation.
When
but
you're that
why,
rich-
when he is having a concert, why do any of these people just have like 6 or 7 people on stage behind them, just standing?
Because
there?
they're insecure.
Ooh.
So do you think it's like my boys are here, they got my
Yeah.
back? I thought it was maybe like in case they hear a gunshot, they can all pile on top of them.
That's probably true too. I
I'm just kidding.
If
That's
I-
not a good
if I
question.
had the
Take
chance,
Edit that out. Take
where
that
are
out. Take
you
that
going?
out.
If I had
Take
the
that out. Take that out. Take that out. Take that out. What's
the
your story?
opportunity
When did
presented
you move to
itself.
Hollywood, and how did you start this career of being a hilarious comedian who's also a menace to her audiences?
What's your story?
What's your story? When did you realize that you were like funny and hilarious?
Oh, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. But I didn't realize I wanted to do stand-up until a stand-up told me to do stand-up because they were like, you're very funny and you should do stand-up. And I was like, what? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan, he told me. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
so
my
like
God.
a legit
Like before he-
scenario.
yeah.
like-
He tells you gotta.
Yeah, exactly. Before he was like world famous. This is when he was still touring clubs and headlining, and yeah, we were chit chatting, and he was like, "You're very funny, dude. You should try doing stand up."
And you were just casually hanging out?
yeah, I loved comedy when I was. I've always loved comedy since I was
Got
young,
it.
and I would go see stand up shows as soon as I could. Like I think when you're 18, you can start going to comedy shows. I started trying to go, and I went to see Jim Gaffigan, and yeah, afterwards he was just like, "Yeah, you're so funny," and which in hindsight, I'm like, "That's my I don't encourage anyone to do stand up."
Just like you.
And
You're like,
frankly,
don't
I
put
tell
a
most
wig
drag
on.
queens quit.
Yeah, because they should.
Yeah.
And most people aren't funny.
Right.
But but also he was right. I am funny, so it all worked out.
That's incredible. When you were younger, if you loved comedy for a long time, who were some of the people that like you idolized or worshipped or
Well, not really
enjoyed?
in stand up, but like literally when we were children, like our family movies would be like Spaceballs and
Mm.
Transylvania 65000 and like Little Shop of Horrors and like
Mm.
all that kooky
Yeah.
like not even realizing like
Right.
what I was actually consuming. And then as we got older, I started getting into stand up, but also it started with like watching SNL and Mad TV, and not even Mad TV. What was the other one? Living Color.
Oh,
Living Color was my
yeah.
you know,
That was
like
good.
because I was also like the perfect age for it. SNL was a little
Yes.
older, a little more white humor, and I
Uh-huh.
wasn't fully into it.
right?
And also, we weren't allowed to watch SNL. Yeah, I think because my parents didn't understand the humor, and they were just like,
Okay.
"What are they? What are they teaching these
What are they
kids?"
indoctrinating my
You
children?
know?
Yeah.
And they were right because, and
I will say that my parents had all the best of SNL things on
Sure,
VHS, so
sure.
I would just watch those. So I missed all like the bad skits. 'Cause,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
The best,
Best of.
yeah, best of.
It's really interesting how that stuff influences people. Like such
Sure.
an lasting imprint of like, oh, we watched these 4 movies when I was younger, and that's why I like this kind of a joke.
Sure.
Like that is so fascinating.
But that's the thing is, as I got older, I just started getting into everything. So there was no one thing that I like, which
Got
is
it.
why I'm so good at stand up because I can do it all.
I can do it all.
But I got into Seinfeld when I was like 12, and that was like the
Oh,
one
wow.
thing no one in my family enjoyed except me, and it was like me learning about like white people and how like Jewish people talk about their own culture, and New York City. I was like I felt like I was learning a lot,
Yeah.
and I was also learning words. I'm an English as a second language child, so like I was like eager to learn a lot of. Like I would think about how like Mariah Carey, we like learn words. Like I learned nonchalant because
Right.
of
Because
of
Mariah
her song,
Carey. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like there were
Chanteuse.
yeah. Oh my God, there's so many words I learned because of her, and I love it. And so that's how you get
She-
into
That is
shit.
so
Mariah
right.
Carey
She-
writes with
And you
big
know what's
words.
crazy is that I think people forget she writes her own music.
Yeah.
So she's
Yes.
in there like in the thesaurus looking up the right
Yeah.
words that
No,
rhyme.
she just knows. She,
She
doesn't need
she has
thesaurus.com.
yeah, she has a large. Did you read her book?
No.
And she does the audiobook for it too. doesn't
She also does that, but the book is incredible. You learn
Oh.
so much about her. I have like a new respect for her.
Well, because she was married so young
Yeah.
and like stuck
Yeah.
in both the marriage and the record contract.
Yeah, but also she talks about her family in a way
Yeah.
that we've never heard, and it's.
Oh, I gotta get that
I'm telling you,
audiobook.
it's so good. It's so good.
Because I can't read.
Yeah, look at you.
Well,
Why
can
would
do
you
it while
read?
drive.
Yeah. You ever watch movies when you're driving?
Absolutely.
Now, were you the type of comedian that when you first started, like your first set was just hilarious and you were good to go, or did you like
Yes.
bomb? Yeah.
Yeah,
I can feel
absolutely.
that for
yeah,
you. Yeah.
absolutely. And but the problem was I didn't have a lot of life experience, so the subject matter was kind of like lame. You know what I mean? But it was funny, but it was kind of lame.
Yeah.